guys, Ryan the Roaster here. First, I hope y'all enjoyed. I said, man, what can I do to kind of do the start of this video? And I said, let people enjoy some of the beauty of Selma. So those images y'all saw on the front end were actually that's actually an old Civil War graveyard that's right in the middle. It's across from one project and then kind of a bad area of town, but it's it really made me go and appreciate the beauty. I've never walked through there. I've never really done that. So doing that was actually it was a blessing for me because I got to see some of the beauty of the statues and everything. And so it was great. So I'm just wrapping everything up at my shop because Marin, my littlest, who everybody got to meet, she told me, or she wanted to be a cheerleader her senior year of high school. So I get to go to a cheer competition. So learning to love others is sometimes doing things for them that you really, really don't want to do. But that's what being a good parent is. You always are doing something that you'd rather not be doing, and so you only have a short period of time with them. This is the only one I'll be able to do. So I'm gonna enjoy it. I think. Cross my fingers. We'll see. But really, I was thinking a lot about culture. When I did youth ministry, I did it at a church where there were a lot of kind of well-to-do kids in that youth ministry, and so it wasn't a huge one. I mean, we had like 15 to 20 kids consistently. But what I loved about it is we were able to build a culture. We met in the basement of a church and just had great times, but we were able to establish a culture of love and respect. So we had the core group were well-to-do kids, but we would have a lot of impoverished kids come in whose parents might have been struggling with drug addiction or drug abuse, and and those kids, man, they would come in and love them and accept the the other kids and would just include them. And so as I've been thinking, this is kind of the front end of this channel, right at the beginning, and I've noticed something that you guys are already doing, and what it is, it's encouraging others. And so I remember I was going through a time in life, and it was, for me, it would be the dark night of my soul. Just I remember I was just burnt out. I mean, might have had a mental breakdown and not known it, but I was dealing with depression. I was I would I was doing youth ministry at a church and felt like it was the season where that part of my life was coming to an end. But it was a large church. It was 60 plus kids coming consistently. It didn't really feed to my strengths. It was set up to where like you go and preach at a pulpit for 30 minutes for a bunch of kids, and I'm like, this ain't me. It didn't where my strengths are. I'm more of a relational guy. So I was going there. I was doing that part time. The coffee company was my first round, and it wasn't making it. I didn't really have a group of friends speaking into me. But then I was also remodeling a home, and it was a home on 6 acres that was overgrown everywhere. So, like for instance, what my day looked like, I'd come here, do coffee, do what I had to do, go get materials, come back. On a Wednesday, I'd go out there and do youth for 2 or 3 hours. And then I'd go out to the house and work till like some nights it was 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, then get up the next day and do it again. And so it's just burnt out, just, tired of life and tired of everything. And I know Lester's talked about I've dealt with church hurt and everything. And, I know a lot of you guys have. But I remember in that time, I kind of reached out to people and I was like, hey, I need some help. And some of the responses were just kind of like, well, come to a small group or go to this Bible study. And I remember sitting there thinking, and this is, I've worked as youth minister for churches. Um, I've been actually on like leadership committees of churches, and I was like, man, I need a friend. I need somebody who's going to just encourage me and build me up. I don't need to go and sit for an hour listening to somebody talk about their opinion on the Bible. It's like I need somebody to just build me up. And it just and now granted, I'm gonna be nice and say, it might have been that I wasn't at a place where I was just ready to open up. That could have been, and people could probably sense that, but I was just, man, it was rough. But thinking about culture and thinking about, my journey and my walk and seeing what some of you guys are already doing, it really, it got me to a point where I was like, I want to invite everybody who subscribes, everybody who appreciates what's going on, to just, if this could be a safe place, if like the comment section, because I've had people, man, a woman or a person left a comment the other day, and it just really just pierced my heart, and it was about like just some terrible, terrible things that happened, and the person was telling me about the judgment they received and all this, and it ruined me. And so I'm like, man, what if the comment section for this could be something where all of you guys, if you see somebody posting something hard that they've walked through, they just were overcome with encouragement and love. And so I invite everybody, man, join this. I try and do it. And I've kind of been like, I'm going to say a prayer for people. Yeah, man, I've told y'all that. But I'd love to see people help, because as this thing grows, I might not be able to respond to every single thing. So if I knew there's people out there who are like, we're going to build you up, we're going to encourage you, we're going to love you in this way. I know a lot of people have commented, and it's like, hey, I'm an 80-year-old lady who's at home all day. And man, just think of the purpose that this would create for her, to where she's just like, man, I know what I'm called to do right now, to build up and encourage. So, it's not something I can do. It's something that I just invite y'all, man. Just if you're going through something, and want to post, I'm going to pray for it. I'm going to try my best to encourage, but I invite other people. If you read the comments and see somebody who's hurting or has been hurt, man, encourage them. You don't know. I mean, I'm learning, and I'm learning just through the encouragement you guys have given me. I mean, I never thought about it, that some little thing, just a sentence that somebody would write, how much life it would grow in me, and just how it would eliminate fear, how the days that are tough in here, and how joy would come from it. And so I've seen the power of it. I've seen it, and I don't want to keep it. I want to extend it out for everybody. The whole purpose of this channel is not for anything but to try and build people up and encourage them, and to try and teach people the things I've learned. And so, one thing I'm learning is how powerful that encouragement is. And so, some of the things with the culture of this thing is one, let's encourage people. Let's build them up. Let's have a safe place. There's so many I'm sorry if y'all don't, there's so many trolls that are on this internet who just want to harm people. That's all they want to do, is harm people and hurt people's feelings. And man, just think if we created a safe place where it's like, man, I'm dealing with something, and you knew you were getting encouraged. I sit in here and I think, and I try and think outside the box, and I try and think of like, I've seen other channels where people just they'll bash them, and what about if we when there's trolls on here, instead of being mean, we just love them and say, hey man, I hate that you feel that way, and just build them up with love, kill them with kindness. What if we just radically built some crazy encouragement, this system of encouragement for people who might not have it. So that's a desire in my heart, and that's one of these things I'm kind of throwing out there in my conversational prayers. Like, let's do this. You got to think of the crazy things that seem impossible and start walking towards them. But also, I have found my peace through walking with Jesus. It's not about a church. It's not about this or that, but it's a relationship. That's where I found my peace. I'm not going to try and force that on anybody. I'm going to communicate what's happened in my life, but I would never want to force my belief system on anybody. And so if somebody has a different belief system, it's okay for you to be here. It's okay. I'm not going to attack anybody's, and I ask that the people who are commenting don't attack anybody's personal belief system unless they're trying to harm somebody else in the comments. Then you can just be like, look, we don't do that here. But I want this to be a place where people, no matter where you are, no matter what you look like, no matter what you believe, you're welcome here. And that hopefully it'll build you up and encourage you. Because I've got friends who believe different things, and I'm just like, I'm going to love them. I'm going to be their friend. That's it. They have different lifestyles. And some of the people with a totally different lifestyle than I walk in have been some of the kindest and most loving people, and some of the best friends to me. And so just talking about culture and creating culture. And now I'm going to kind of hear some cool news. All right, I've got a big announcement. It's not big, but for me it is. So I was talking with Kennedy. Y'all got a glimpse of her the other day. All right. Very shy. But I asked her the other day, I said, would you be willing to come on here and like do a sit down, or just maybe we can talk about marriage, or you can talk about how crazy I used to be, whatever we wanted, but will you just come? And she has agreed to do it. So in the next, few weeks, y'all be looking out for her. She's the better half, man. She is amazing. So that one other thing that has really been on my heart to talk about, but I've got to sit and meditate on it for a while before I put it out there, is forgiveness. Forgiveness has been such a powerful thing in my life and given me freedom. And I've just, through some comments and through some things in life that have hit me, it's just been like, Ryan, you need to do this. But it's like, you need to get it right, Ryan. You can't just go and wing it like you do 99% of your other things. So be looking for that. So those are two things that I'm going to do. I'm going to try and structure this thing to where it's not just so random like it's been. But we'll see how it goes, because I'm not a good I'm not a good ordered person. I'm kind of like, boom, let me do this. Boom, let me do this. Boom, let me do these things. And so just the way I'm wired, man, and it's learning that it's not wrong if you're built differently than others. And so I'm about to let y'all go. But maybe y'all might also be seeing something from Ryan the Roaster at this cheerleading event. But just want to remind everybody as we go, as I depart, that just be happy. It's a choice. It's a choice to be happy. We can choose it. And so be happy and love others. Y'all take care.